The venomous snake bit and killed the only old hen in my family. My younger brother shouted that he wanted stewed chicken, and Grandma said snake wine was a good thing, afraid they would be poisoned. I secretly buried the dead chicken and the snake wine. When Grandma saw that her precious snake wine was gone, she struck me on the back with a fire poker and cursed me as a home-stealing thief who bites the hand that feeds her. My younger brother began rolling around on the ground, crying and shouting for chicken. My parents were furious and beat me with fists and kicks. I was beaten until one of my legs was crippled, and I could no longer do any heavy labor. Then they sold me for 5,000 yuan to a fool in the mountains to be his wife. From then on, I had one child after another, and in the end, I died in childbirth on the bed. When I opened my eyes again, I had returned to the day my younger brother was shouting about wanting to eat the dead chicken. This time, I didn't meddle any further. I watched as Grandma put the snake into the medicinal liquor bottle and stewed the chicken. Seeing Grandma casually deal with the native chicken bitten to death by the snake and toss it into the stew pot, I rubbed my eyes to clear my head, and only then did I realize that I had been reborn. My legs were not yet disabled, and I didn't walk with a limp. I wasn't out of my mind talking to myself all day long, nor was I locked in that pitch-dark, dilapidated mountain cave, endlessly giving birth. My limbs were nimble and my mind was clear. I was about as healthy a person as one could be. As the dead chicken slowly cooked through, an overbearing aroma spread throughout the whole yard. The front door was opened and my parents, who had been out playing mahjong all day, came back rubbing their necks. "Wang Shao, didn't you see your mom and me come back? Are you asking for a beating again? Hurry up and pour us some water." I woke up with a start and hurried to pour the water. I was sure that if I were any slower, my dad's whip would land on me. After handing over the water, Grandma called me over again to light the fire, set the table, and bring out the food. I was spinning around busily in the kitchen, and by the time I finally finished and came over, everyone else was already eating. A huge basin of home-raised chicken, so rich it was glistening with fat and so fragrant it made your mouth water, was placed right in front of Dad and my eldest younger brother. Grandma picked the pitch, black chicken feet, and 2 chicken drumsticks, and put them into my eldest younger brother's bowl. "Here, good grandson, your favorite chicken feet, and eat 2 more drumsticks. The more you eat, the bigger and stronger you'll grow." Watching my younger brother eat with such relish, I kept silent. That old hen had died of poisoning after being bitten on the foot by a silver-ringed snake after Dad had piled his own bowl high with meat. He started serving my mother. "Eat more. That way, your milk will be good, and you'll be able to raise our little son to be chubby and healthy." I silently chewed a couple mouthfuls of pickled vegetables, not daring to touch the chicken in the big bowl at all. "Stop eating. Go get me 2 heads of garlic and a bottle of Bayu." Dad, his mouth glistening with grease, ordered me without even looking up. I immediately put down my bowl and chopsticks and went to the kitchen to fetch the items. After getting the food, I hesitated for a moment and then picked up a spoon as well. "Dad, here, this is for you. Chicken soup over rice is probably going to be insanely delicious." I handed him the spoon. "You sure do know how to eat. Don't even think about this meat. The rest is all being saved for your little brother. If I catch you sneaking a bite, I'll beat you to death. Come here. You've been good today. So, I'll treat you to a chicken tail." Looking at the chicken, but in the bowl, I took a big mouthful of rice and secretly hid it at the bottom of the bowl. "What the hell are you talking about? You don't even know this." She kept saying the chicken and the snake were poisonous and even wanted to throw it away. If I hadn't caught her in time and beaten her, do you think she'd be this obedient now? Grandma said angrily. Dad paused with the wine in his hand and looked at Grandma. "Mom, didn't you say this was a flower snake and wasn't poisonous at all?" Grandma noted on the chicken, unconcerned. "It looked like a flower snake to me." Shouty kept, stubbornly arguing, saying something about a golden ring and a silver ring. "What's the big deal about rings? We're eating cooked chicken, not raw. Put your heart back in your stomach and eat in peace. Dad nodded in strong agreement as well. Exactly. High temperatures kill viruses. This shouty got off too lightly. She's always finding trouble for me every day. Mom wiped her greasy hands twice on her clothes, her eyes drifting toward me. Useless good for nothing who brings nothing but loss. If I hadn't been desperate for a son back then, I'd have drowned her in a urine barrel ages ago. How could she still be alive now? Nothing but a waste of food. The angrier Dad thought, the more furious he became. With a smack, he slammed his chopsticks onto the table. Stop eating. How dare you eat? Get over there and change your little brother's diapers. Useless thing. I quickly put down my bowl and chopsticks and walked into the house. In my previous life, before my leg was broken, I often acted against my younger brother Wang Yao on purpose just to get my parents to notice me, deliberately making them angry. Since I was little, I never understood why my name was Wang Xiaowai, while his was Wang Yao. Why was I never even full while Wang Yao had so many snacks that were practically going moldy? Why is it that even though I'm clearly the oldest, all my clothes are made from old cast-offs that adults no longer wanted, while Wang Yao often gets to wear new clothes, not understanding what favoring sons over daughters meant? I only wanted to get even the slightest bit of warmth and affection. Now, having already died once, I fully understand that all those vicious words were the voice of their true feelings. In their eyes, I was nothing but a worthless, money-losing burden. Since that's the case, I won't meddle any further. You can go ahead and eat as much of this chicken bitten to death by a venomous snake as you want. At the very least, you can die with a full stomach. After dinner, night deepened. The doors and windows in the room were wide open, but the breathing grew heavier with each breath. Grandma kept pounding her chest from time to time, letting out painful cries of, "Ouch, ouch." Wang Yao tossed and turned, and it was as if a broken blower had been stuck in his chest, worrying and wheezing. My mom gasped for air, then nudged him and said, "It's the middle of the night. Why aren't you sleeping? What are you doing here?" Feeling Wang Yao's icy cold arm, my mom finally sensed something was wrong. When she turned on the light, she saw his lips had turned blue. He was clutching his stomach, moaning in discomfort. At that moment, the whole house was thrown into chaos. My mom hurriedly shook my dad awake. Seeing that he also looked like he was in pain, she suddenly realized that maybe everyone in the family had eaten something bad. Grandma tiptoed on her small feet and knocked on the neighbor's front gate, and only after much pleading did she manage to borrow a small truck. My mom and I went to great lengths to lift my dad and Wang Yao onto the truck. The whole family rushed off to the hospital in a flurry like that. After the hospital doctor asked about the symptoms, he also asked what they had eaten for dinner. My mom answered anxiously, saying we hadn't eaten anything unusual, just what we usually ate. "Doctor, we ate the same as usual today. It was just an old hen raised at home. Was it too greasy? My grandma and I ate it too, so why don't our stomachs hurt?" My mom completely ignored the fact that she was gasping after saying just a couple of sentences, thinking it was only because she was tired from the long journey. The doctor nodded, indicating that this could indeed be the cause. But for safety's sake, he still issued a lab test order, just as everyone was breathing a sigh of relief. They saw that the father and son, who were receiving 4 fluids, were getting worse and worse. Before Grandma could call the doctor again, the doctor was already hurrying over. Snake venom was detected in the patient's body. How could you not mention something as serious as a snake bite? Aren't you wasting precious rescue time? My mother looked blank and said, "She wasn't bitten by a snake." "Doctor, could there have been a mistake?" "Impossible. Think about it again." "Doctor, she really wasn't bitten. We just ate a chicken that had been bitten to death by a snake." "That's more like it. If he'd really been bitten, he probably wouldn't have made it to now. But you waited far too long." Mom looked utterly incredulous. "So, even eating the chicken that got bitten won't do. We cooked it. Heat can kill the poison. The doctor nodded. That's true. High heat can kill toxins. It may be that it wasn't cooked long enough. It's also possible that circulation at the bite site was poor, causing the toxins to remain too concentrated. Yes, yes. I was afraid it would get too mushy and not taste good. So I didn't stew it for too long. The chicken died after its paw was bitten. No wonder it was still pitch black after cooking. Grandma suddenly interjected. Hey, if you'd said so clearly earlier, that would have been fine. But now the patient's toxin has already spread. So transferring hospitals is simply unrealistic. Our hospital only has one vial of serum for this toxin left. Save the child or save the adult. The family should think it over carefully. It's all my fault. I gave the chicken feet to Yao. It's all my fault. At that moment, Grandma beat her chest and stomped her feet in anguish, regretting it so much she wished she could turn back time. Save me first. Mom, save me first. You can have as many grandsons as you want later. You only have one biological son. Grandma froze for a moment, then immediately looked up and glanced at my mom before quickly coming to her senses. Tiptoeing on little feet, I hurriedly scampered off toward the doctor's office. My mom looked at my dad, then at Wang Yao, whose face had turned a sickly bluish green. Her mouth opened and then closed again. She lowered her head and held the child in her arms even tighter, then suddenly burst into tears and curses. You damn thing. Why isn't the poison one, you worthless good for nothing? Even if you died, I wouldn't feel sorry for you. Mom was in so much pain that she kicked the back of my knee. Then he slapped my face with his palm and then pounded my back with his fists as if trying to beat me to death. Finally, when his hands got tired, he started kicking me over and over with his foot. After Grandma came out of the doctor's office, she too lunged at me, clutching my hair tightly and not letting me dodge even a little. It's all your fault. If you hadn't let your dad eat that poison soup, soaked rice, would he be like this? Just you wait. I'll beat you to death. Yes, it was her who killed Yaozu. My poor Yao. I knelt on the ground, silently enduring everything. It felt utterly absurd in my heart. They knew the chicken was poisoned, yet they ate it greedily, and now they're blaming me. Wang Yao wasn't beyond saving either, but Grandma chose to give the medicine to my father instead. In the end, his death is also blamed on me, utterly ridiculous. Looking at Wang Yao, lying on the hospital bed already without a breath, I wondered whether he had heard his father's words about giving up on him, even at the very last moment before death. He still firmly believed that he was the most important boy in the family and that Mom and Dad would definitely save him. Wang Yao was gone. My dad became a paralyzed man who could only lie in bed. A dead grandson is worthless. With Grandma's decree that those who die violently cannot enter the family grave, he was hastily buried on the back hill, looking at the human bones scattered everywhere, dug up and gnawed on by wild beasts. I thought, even a grandson is just like this at home. My mother held my little brother and slowly sorted through Wang Yao's belongings. Guangzhong, you must grow up well. I think Yozu was deliberately killed by that money-losing wench. I've kept all your brother's clothes for you. Mom has. She's not worthy of wearing such fine fabric. Your brother is dead. Your dad is paralyzed. From now on, our family is all relying on you. My poor Guangdong. Although my dad was paralyzed, he was still a man after all. One slap sent my mom's face swelling up hugely. You filthy, how dare you curse me, as I'm not dead yet. The angrier he got, the more he smashed everything on the bedside table to pieces. At that moment, Grandma came over holding her precious jar of medicinal liquor, carefully poured a small bowl and handed it to my dad. Di Chong, drink up quickly. This is something good that Mom collected bit by bit. After you finish this jar, you should be completely healed. Inside the large glass jar, the venomous snakes looked ferocious, and floating in the liquor were various ants, centipedes, and unfamiliar herbs. You little jinx, from now on, Pour a small bowl for your dad after every meal. If you delay, don't blame me for skinning you alive. I glanced at the bottle, touched my still bruised and swollen face, and lowered my head. I thought that once my grandma came back, she would throw away the medicinal liquor. After all the turmoil in our family was caused by this snake. The doctor repeatedly stressed that this snake's venom was extremely potent, and it was best not to come into contact with it again. Unexpectedly, my grandma not only didn't throw it away, but even soaked it in medicinal liquor for my dad to drink. I looked at the medicinal liquor jar, which was already murky to begin with. Now it had turned even darker, likely because the snake venom had been continuously seeping into it after I finished clearing the bowls and chopsticks after dinner. I was still late and got slapped hard by my dad, so hard that stars flashed before my eyes. Pour me some wine now. A big bowl. How am I ever supposed to get better with those tiny little bowls? You just can't stand to see me do well. I'm your dad. I'll be your dad until the day I die. You worthless girl. And you still think you can defy me. I had no choice but to pour him a large bowl of the pitch-black medicinal wine from the glass jar, watching him close his eyes and gulp down those tiny insect corpses. His originally pale face now faintly revealed oblique. Dites-lui pour. Now Dad's temper was even worse. He cursed me endlessly as a bringer of misfortune, as if that would let him blame everything he had suffered on me. Whenever Grandma and Mom heard the abuse, they would occasionally join in as well, so they wouldn't have to bear the guilt in their consciences. The family's misfortune was caused by me, and Wang Yao's death was caused by me, too. It seems that as long as I exist, I'm a mistake at night. My little brother cried nonstop. My mom held him and slowly paced around the courtyard, trying to soothe him, but it had no effect at all. He still bawled his eyes out. This worried my mom terribly in her family. He was the only remaining heir. She called out to my grandma anxiously, asking, "What should we do? Should we take him to the hospital and have a doctor take a look?" My grandma touched Guangzong's forehead. "It's fine. When a child has a fever, just rub him down with alcohol." After saying that, she went into the house, poured a bowl of medicinal liquor, warmed it by rubbing it in her hands, and began applying it all over the baby's body. "This is good stuff. Put more on my dear grandson. He'll grow up strong," my grandma said as she kept rubbing it on over and over again. I stood by silently, watching without saying a word. Before long, the child's crying grew weaker and weaker, and gradually he stopped crying. However, purple welts began to appear all over his body, and the little body that had been burning red was now turning an eerie, ghastly white, like a ghost baby from a horror movie. Only then did my mother finally grow scared, and she touched the purple welts as her voice trembled. "Mother-in-law, how about we hurry and take him to the hospital?" Suddenly, my grandma, like a cat having its fur blown up, shouted sharply, "No hospital. You absolutely can't go to the hospital. Once you go, you won't come back. You died in the hospital, and the child's father was left paralyzed in the hospital. Too, we can go to the hospital." Amid my grandmother's tearful wailing, the baby's skin turned even more bluish purple, and his breathing grew weaker and weaker. No matter what, he was an innocent infant. So, I spoke up to persuade her. "Mom, we should still take him to the hospital and have him checked. The hospital has doctors and life-saving medicine. It's better than just toughing it out at home." My mom seemed to finally come to her senses. "Right to the hospital. The hospital has life-saving medicine." As soon as she finished speaking, she snatched the child away and staggered out the door. I followed her out with Grandma's wailing and making a scene in the courtyard behind us. By the time we finally made it to the hospital after all that trouble, the child was already taking in more breaths than he could let out. When the doctor came out of the emergency room, my mother rushed forward anxiously. "Doctor, where is my son? How is he?" The doctor removed his mask, his face filled with sorrow, and said, "I'm sorry for your loss. The child was brought in too late and has already missed the optimal window for resuscitation. My mother refused to believe this outcome, clutching tightly at the doctor's sleeve. Aren't you a doctor? Please save him. He's still so young. He just had a slight fever. How could he not be saved? I'm sorry. What ultimately caused the child's death was alcohol poisoning, and multiple highly toxic substances were found mixed in the child's blood. Not to mention a child, even an adult would have a hard time surviving. Please accept my condolences. My mother was in a daze, muttering to herself, alcohol poisoning, mixed toxins, medicinal wine. It must have been the medicinal wine. Suddenly, my mother fixed her bloodshot, hate-filled eyes on me. Why didn't you speak up sooner to remind me to bring your brother to the hospital? Did you do it on purpose? First, you caused Yao's death, and now going home. How can your heart be so cruel? I had no intention of defending myself. She probably just needed someone she could hate without any pressure. It was Grandma who applied the medicinal wine to the child, and it was also Grandma who stopped us from taking him to the hospital. I watched as Mom returned home in a daze, deeply trapped in grief and unable to free herself. Seeing us return, Grandma hurriedly stepped forward and asked, "Where is Guangzhong? Where is my precious Guangzhong?" My mother gave a bitter smile and said, "He's dead. They're all dead. Poisoned by your precious medicinal wine." With that, she rushed into the house. As soon as she entered, she threw herself into my father's arms, wailing loudly. She cried for her 2 sons who were already gone, for her husband, who was bedridden, and finally for her own miserable life. But as she wept, my mother sensed something was off. In the past, whenever she mentioned the word, my father would have cursed and shouted. Today, however, there was no sound at all, an eerie silence. Trembling, my mother reached out and touched my father's back, only to find it cold to the touch. Turning over, my father's ashen face was revealed. The blood that had flowed from his eyes, nose, and mouth had long since dried, leaving behind streaks of blood stains. Deafening cries filled the entire house, and boundless grief spread through the air. Looking up at my heartbroken mother and grandmother, the doctor's words flashed through my mind. Such a potent mix of toxins would be too much even for an adult to survive. The fierce wind rustled the plain white cloth in the morning hall, scattering the paper, money on the ground into the air. I knelt before the huge coffin, indifferently burning gold ingots, while my ears were filled with heart-rending wails. Mom clutched her chest with one hand and gripped the edge of the coffin tightly with the other, sobbing uncontrollably, wishing she could go with him. She wasn't crying because she had lost someone she loved deeply, but because she had suddenly become a widow. Grandma, meanwhile, mingled in the crowd, sorrowfully recounting her own misfortunes, losing her husband early in life, then in her old age, suffering one blow after another with the deaths of her grandson and her son. I was so foolish, so foolish. How could I have let her take the child to the hospital? That hospital is a place that devours people. It killed 2 grandsons and then brought back baleful energy, killing my son, too. She cried in a heart-renewing way. If the grandsons are gone, we can have more. But I only have this one precious son. How am I supposed to go on living? As she spoke, Grandma shot another vicious glare at my mother and me. Seeing this, the villagers secretly shook their heads. Though they had much to say, they dared not speak up and could only whisper among themselves. What evil deeds has this Wang family done? 3 men in the family have died one after another. Such a sin, such a sin. After the funeral, the house instantly fell silent, so quiet it was hard to breathe. My grandmother, who used to be able to tiptoe to the village entrance and repeatedly lament, "I was so foolish, truly. Accidentally slipped outside and now can no longer get out of bed at all." Thus, the calm and uneventful days were shattered on a day of pouring rain. 2 figures, one tall and one short, one plump and one thin, clad in black plastic raincoats, knocked on the door of my house. The aunt, thin as a bamboo pole, seemed as familiar with the place as if it were her own home. The short, fat man, so plump he seemed capable of leaking a bucket of grease, wore black sunglasses, his white cane tapping as if probing for something. In reality, he quickly entered Grandma's room with the woman's support, and the door slammed shut with a bang. That night was filled with the woman's heart-wrenching screams. I hid in the woodshed, covering my ears tightly, not daring to make a sound. The next day, I discovered that all the windows in my mother's room had been sealed shut, and the door was tightly closed. I cautiously approached and peered through the crack in the door. It was pitch black inside, and I couldn't make out anything clearly. Suddenly, a hand grabbed my shoulder and flung me outward. I stumbled and fell to the ground, looking up in a daze at the person before me. Grandma's wrinkled face was smeared with some unknown black substance, her eyes fixed on the door with a crazed intensity, as if she could see everything inside. Do not disturb your father's spirit. He is bestowing blessings upon your mother and child. Aha, our old Wang family is about to have another male descendant. Terrified, I dragged myself backward on the ground, staring at Grandma in disbelief. Grandma, the dead cannot come back to life. Grandma suddenly took 2 steps forward and slapped me hard across the face. Your father isn't dead. Your father isn't dead at all. He's going to give me a big grandson. If you curse your father again, I'll beat you to death. You worthless girl. I covered my swollen, reddened face and stared blankly at the fat man, bare-chested, revealing his belly with layers of fat, struggling to pull up his pants with both hands as he walked out of my mother's room. Grandma quickly grabbed her cane and hurried over, her face filled with anxiety as she asked, Master, did it work? Did you grant us a child? It's not that easy. Do you think granting a child is like buying a radish? Just hand it over when you ask. Having your ghost son possess me to grant a child is already defying fate, and you wanted to succeed on the first try. You old woman, don't be ungrateful. The master said impatiently, Yes, 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 you're absolutely right. Master, I was being greedy. Thank you for your hard work. Hoof, good that you know. I peeked through the door and saw a pair of hands covered in blood stains hanging down from the bed with bruises all over the arms. It scared me so much that I turned my face away, not daring to look again. Suddenly, another slap landed on my head, snapping me back to reality. What are you still standing there for? Go fetch some water for your mother to wash up. If you dare let your mother escape, I'll sell you off to the mountains to get your father a new wife. After saying this, Grandma followed the master into the living room when I brought hot water to wash my mother's face. She had already sat up, completely naked, clutching the blanket on the bed. Mom, let me wipe you down. My voice seemed to startle her. She crawled toward me on all fours, but the iron chain on her foot restricted her movement, nearly causing her to fall off the bed. They are not human. They are demons. Shouty, you're all I have left. Save me. My mother's face was filled with immense terror, as if I were her last lifeline. I set the basin on the ground and pried her fingers off my arm one by one, without saying a word. I turned and walked out. Wang Shaoyi, you have no conscience. I am your mother. You heartless wretch. I am your mother. A whole family of ungrateful beasts. You all deserve to die. Shaoyi, Mom was wrong. I beg you to save me. I'll kneel and cow out to you. Please, I beg you. Shouty, tears streaming down my face. I walked out without looking back. At that moment, it felt as if I had returned to the cave from my past life, the cave where I had given birth to child after child, only to die inside, and in the end, the feeling of pitch black, bone-chilling cold, crept over me once more, seeping deep into my bones with an icy chill. I carved the word home on the cave wall with my fingernails, one bloody stroke after another. But where's my home? While enduring inhuman abuse, I cried out for my mother over and over again. But where was she? If my parents hadn't sold me into the mountains to bring good luck to my younger brother, how could my life have been so tragic? Such piercing cries filled every night that followed. I too, amidst such voices, relived the darkness of my past life over and over again. Finally, one day that door opened. A woman emaciated and deformed with deeply sunken cheekbones and only her belly round and full emerged, carefully supported by my grandmother. Be careful. Watch the threshold. This is my precious grandson. The woman's numb eyes gazed at the outside world. At that moment, I thought I saw a tear fall from her eye. Yet, her expression was too calm, making me think it was just my imagination. Master, you're sure it's a boy in this woman's belly? Right. My grandmother looked at the master with anticipation. Oh, my dear old sister, if the master says it's a boy, then it's definitely a boy. Just put your heart at ease. Auntie Bamboo Pole said, waving her floral handkerchief. Thank you, master. Thank you, master. You are truly a living bodhisattva. Grandma knelt down and cowed to the master. Don't celebrate too soon. Keeping this boy safe won't be easy. You have offended the snake immortal. So, he has taken away all the men in your family. This child was hidden from him by my divine insight, and I protected the child with my spiritual energy. But now the pregnancy is too far along, and I can no longer protect him. The master tapped his blind cane on the ground repeatedly. Upon hearing this, my grandmother panicked instantly. Her legs went weak, and she was about to kneel again. Master, what should we do? You must protect my precious grandson. Elder sister, I believe the master told you this because there is a solution. Let's hear what the master has to say first. Aunt Bamboo Pole supported my grandmother, who looked at the master with hopeful eyes. The master pondered for a moment before speaking. There is a solution, but you'll have to endure some physical suffering. Grandma strode forward and grabbed the master's sleeve. I'm an old woman with one foot in the grave. What do I have to fear? As long as my precious grandson is safe, I'll do anything. Actually, this snake spirit is attached to you, draining your vitality. That's why you suddenly became lame and have been feeling unwell lately. Upon hearing this, my grandma trembled all over and was about to kneel again. Master, please save me and my grandson. I have money. I'll give you whatever you want. Ah, gold and silver are mere worldly possessions. Let me first explain the solution to you, and then you can decide. Pile firewood in the courtyard and set it ablaze. Then place a wooden barrel large enough for one person on top. I will find a way to invite the snake immortal to leave and then steam away the een and evil energy from your body. That should do it. How can a person be steamed like this? Grandma replied, trembling with fear. Dear lady, you don't understand. Only this fierce fire can drive away the filth clinging to you. Mom, I've heard that steaming like this is popular in the city now. Too, they call it a sauna. Lots of people go for it. So it must be fine. My grandmother looked at Aunt Bamboo Pole, then at my mother, and finally her gaze settled on the master. It's fine. If you don't believe me, forget it. The master angrily pried open my grandmother's hand, pulled his sleeve, and walked away. I'll try. Master, you must save us. Grandma collapsed to the ground and shouted. A faint smile appeared on the master's plump, wrinkled face. Then get ready quickly. Don't delay. In the blink of an eye, the day came to send off the snake immortal. The little courtyard was packed with people. Everyone in the village had come. As soon as they heard about sending off the snake immortal, they couldn't help coming to watch the excitement. Hey, I told you long ago, didn't I? The Wong family must have offended something. Otherwise, how could all the males have died out? That's right. No wonder they all died from snake venom. It turns out they offended the snake immortal. By the way, did you see old Wong's daughter-in-law? She's frighteningly thin, but her belly is round and bulging. Who knows whose child it is? Shoo, stop talking. I heard that old Mrs. Wong had a master summoned to Jen's soul, and she's carrying a ghost fetus. What? A ghost fetus? How dreadful. She must be so desperate for a grandson, that she's gone mad. That crazy old woman. Hey, why do you care so much? She's completely crazy now. I heard this time she's steaming people like buns. If you dare provoke her, watch out or she'll steam you, too. Amidst everyone's whispers, the master, dressed in a yellow robe and holding a peachwood sword, twisted his plump body vigorously, making his large sleeves whistle through the air with a loud shout. Grandma tremblingly climbed into the large steamer, muttering softly for Buddhas, protection in full view of everyone. The master threw the torch in his hand onto the pile of firewood. In an instant, the flames quickly spread among the firewood, and in the blink of an eye, a raging fire erupted. The towering flames illuminated Mother's face, her expression frenzied, her frail body forming a stark contrast with her enormous belly. Before long, cries of agony began to emerge from the steamer basket. It's hot. I'm burning up. Let me out. Let me out. Many villagers looked moved and pleaded on her behalf. Zioi's mother, that's enough. Don't let anything really happen. My mother's bloodshot eyes fixed fiercely on the person who spoke. Her voice, if you're not afraid of offending the snake immortal, then go ahead and save her. Upon hearing this, everyone took a fearful step back, and no one dared to bring it up again. Who wouldn't be afraid of ending up like the Wang family amidst the scorching flames? Screams and pleas grew louder and louder, then gradually fell silent. Could they be dead? There's not a sound at all. Goodness, that scream was terrifying. Look, I've got goosebumps all over my arms. It should be fine. The master said this is probably just fainting after the exorcism. Right, right. Old Mrs. Wang has the fire-warding talisman the master gave her. Ordinary fire can't harm her. If she really can't pull through, then it's just her fate being too weak amidst the chatter. My mom told me to go back inside and fetch something. There was a click behind me, and I was locked inside the room, peering through the crack in the door. I saw my mother take out that large jar of venomous snake medicinal wine and pour a big bowl for everyone. This is an exorcism medicinal wine specially prepared by the master. Today's ritual will inevitably leave everyone tainted with the energy of evil spirits. Watching everyone thank her and gulp down the poisonous wine, I shouted from inside the room not to drink it, but my voice was drowned out in the clamor. Mother's lips curved upward, revealing a huge smile, yet her eyes brimmed with tears. Shouty, come to Mama. I slowly shuffled over and sat on the stool in front of her. Boundless fear enveloped me. Was it my turn to die? But I felt a warmth on the top of my head. Mom was gently stroking my hair. I saw Mom holding a wooden comb, slowly untangling my messy, straw-like hair. My eyes grew red. This was the first time in my life I had ever felt my mother's tenderness. Shouty, it's Mom. Who's sorry? I've been avoiding this for too long. I don't know how much longer I'll stay lucid. But you need to know that Mom loves you. You don't have to take your parents' surname. From now on, let your name be Xiangyang, Sunflower Xiangyang, forever bright and happy. Take this money and go with teacher's son to study at the high school in the city. Work hard and get into a good university. And you don't need to come back. Women should stand on their own. Forget everything here and go see the world outside. My heart tightened with bitterness, and I couldn't understand how my mother, who had always been a sharp-tongued shrew, could suddenly show me a moment of tenderness. Tears welled up in my eyes and streamed down my face as I walked step by step toward teacher's son at the door, suddenly feeling empty inside. I turned to look back into the room. My mother smiled gently, slowly waving her hand, urging me to keep moving forward and not look back. That smile is forever etched in my heart. The cheers around me pulled me out of my memories. I was no longer the tragic Wang Zioi from the small mountain village, but Xiangyang, who had just finished the college entrance examination. Teacher's son handed me the flowers in her hand. Congratulations. Xiangyang, teacher, can I go home and take a look now? Teacher's son let out a long sigh. Let's go. It's time to tell you everything. Let's find somewhere to sit. in the brightly lit cafe. Sunlight fell on me, but it could not reach my heart. Ah, your mother was a woman of bitter fate, too. I truly never imagined that, after she entrusted you to me that day, she would set a fire and turn everything to ashes. Teacher Sun's voice choked with emotion. I really didn't know she had planned this. Otherwise, I would definitely have tried to stop her. When I first came to your village to teach, everyone was very warm and welcoming. But during that time, I kept feeling that the villagers were looking at me strangely, like I was a fat piece of meat. Later in the middle of the night, someone even broke into my room. Luckily, I shouted and he was scared off. Teacher Sun said with lingering fear, everyone told me I must have been half asleep in the middle of the night, that such a thing couldn't possibly happen. I was terrified, and that's when your mother came to me. Only then did I realize this village was a den of thieves. Your mother, along with many other women, was abducted. The only difference is that after a period of madness, your mother's temperament changed completely and she no longer remembered anything from before. That's why she was able to live a normal life with all of you. The other women were locked in the cellar, never seeing the light of day for the rest of their lives. I was slightly stunned. This explained many of the strange phenomena in the village. So many children had no mothers, and most of them were boys. If anyone asked where their mother was, the adults would just beat them a few more times until they stopped asking after all. No one had one. Don't blame her. She hated these people too much. Your mother was a graduate student in nuclear submarine research in that era and should have had a bright future. But it was all ruined by these human traffickers. A perfectly normal person could only survive by going insane. What a sin. She drew up a plan in the chaos. I would take you and escape the village once we got out of the mountains. I reported it to the police. The police responded quickly, and the villagers were all poisoned and couldn't even look after themselves. So there were no casualties. More than 120 victims were successfully rescued. They were all girls in the bloom of youth, but most of them were pregnant. There were no older women. Those damn traffickers said women over 30 couldn't bear healthy sons. Either they were sold into the mountains or they were simply buried alive in the back hills. Tell me, are they even human? Teacher Sun said through tears. I trembled all over. Never. Imagining things would turn out like this. The faces of the villagers flashed through my mind. Beneath their kind masks lay such ugly, twisted expressions. When I was little, an elderly neighbor gave me a red piece of candy, but before I could eat it, my grandmother snatched it away. I vaguely remember her saying something about a broken melon, that it wouldn't bring a grandson anymore. Now, thinking back, I only feel the food in my stomach churning, making me want to vomit. Your mother left you a letter. Keep it safe. Take a look at this too. They've all been sentenced. Evil always meets its just end. Taking the phone and seeing the police announcement, I finally couldn't hold back my sobs. Justice is never late. A letter from Mom. I hope this letter finds you well. I believe Xiangyang has already finished the college entrance exams by now, and the results must be excellent. You are my daughter after all. There's no way you could do poorly. I am so proud of you. However, I am sorry to say that I won't be able to stay by your side anymore. Mom has already missed too many important moments of yours, and there's no way to make up for it. The only thing I can do is send you far away from here. Back then, when I was pregnant with my third child, I ran away and called your grandparents only to find out they had passed away long ago from longing and illness. I couldn't handle the shock and fainted on the spot. When I woke up, I was captured and brought back. That child, like the ones before, was also a daughter. They didn't even have a chance to open their eyes to see this world before they fell to their deaths right in front of me. Since then, I have never wanted to wake up again, wandering endlessly in a world of nothingness. When I was jolted awake once more, I saw you timidly watching me from the doorway. That gaze was intense and stubborn, no different from how I was back then. I hate myself so much. For all this time, I left you alone in this world to suffer. You're still young. You should go out and see the colorful world. If the future feels uncertain, why not fulfill Mom's dream by pursuing defense research and contributing your own strength to the country. You will become the most outstanding scientist. A woman must be strong. Remember, remember Xiaonyang. Mom will always watch over you from the heavens. After hearing the first story above, what are your thoughts? Feel free to share your opinions in the comment section. Next, there is another similar story. Let's continue to see. My roommate likes to joke around. After the semester started, a junior helped me carry my things to the dormitory building. She spread rumors that he was my new boyfriend, adding that he was different from the one who went to the hotel with me yesterday. I bought a massage gun to relax my muscles after exercising, and she went around saying I had high demands and used a machine because I couldn't find a man. When I vomited from eating something bad, she exclaimed, "You're not pregnant, are you? Do you know who the father is?" I told her to shut up, but she openly started a prize quiz on the school forum. Guess who the father of Lin Yenchi's baby is? Just like that, I couldn't defend myself, and in a depressive episode, I took my own life. She then told the media that IT was just a joke, meant to entertain everyone. She really can't take a joke. When I opened my eyes again, I had returned to the day my roommate spread rumors that the junior was my new boyfriend. Wow. As expected of the department beauty, Lin Yenshu, changing boyfriends so quickly. It's only been a few hours, and you already have a new one. This one is much more handsome than the old man you took to the hotel last night. After her roommate, Luo Shangshang, finished teasing her with a grin, she didn't forget to give a meaningful look toward the junior at the door who was helping carry things. Little junior, you really have quite the luck with the ladies. The junior instantly flushed red, wanting to explain but not knowing what to say. In my past life, my reaction to this scene was similar to his, awkward, flustered, and feeling utterly embarrassed. I hurriedly tried to explain and prove my innocence, but all I got in return was her remark, "Look, I was just joking. No need to overreact like that. From a psychological perspective, this is just you feeling guilty and desperately trying to cover it up. We're all adults here. Everyone gets it." And so, the rumors spread more and more, eventually evolving into the story that I had slept with 100 people, covering all 56 ethnic groups, and even some from abroad. Later, it got even more exaggerated with rumors spreading that I had a child out of wedlock, and they couldn't even figure out who the father was. I was never good at interacting and socializing with outsiders to begin with. Slowly, psychological issues emerged, and I developed depression, eventually jumping from the school building. Yet, she still spoke to the media with complete indifference. Just a joke, meant to entertain everyone. She really can't take a joke. If she felt uncomfortable, she could have just told me. I only did it because she seemed so quiet and friendless, so I wanted to help her get closer to everyone. I've heard that many kids from wealthy families have psychological issues. They're just too sheltered from a young age and never face any setbacks. Even without this incident, she probably would have jumped off a building eventually. I just had the bad luck of it happening on my watch. Sure enough, taking a step back doesn't always lead to a brighter future. Not everyone has that kind of integrity. Heaven has eyes, allowing me to live a second life. In this life, Luo Shangshang, that beast, must pay in blood. I raised my hand and slapped her hard across the face. What nonsense are you spouting? Spreading rumors is easy, but refuting them takes a lot of effort. Right, if you were joking, then that shows a lack of character. Didn't your parents and teachers teach you what character is? You're both girls, yet you're spreading such vulgar rumors. Luo Shangshang covered her face in disbelief. She was completely beaten by me. It's been over a month since school started, and everyone knows I have a good temper and speak gently, even if someone takes a small advantage of me or asks me to run errands. I just smile and don't mind. But speaking so harshly and resorting to violence is a first. Her face instantly flushed red with both shame and anger. I was just joking. Do you have to speak so harshly and even resort to hitting someone? Could it be that I accidentally hit the nail on the head, and you're just angry because you're embarrassed? We're all adults here. Everyone understands. So, I raised my hand again, slapping a few times on each side, and sneered coldly that I don't understand. Explain it to me more clearly. Last night, I was sleeping soundly in my dorm room, but you said you saw me at the hotel entrance. That must mean I was drugged and assaulted. Otherwise, how could I have no memory of it at all? Now that I've reported being drugged and assaulted to the police, you're my witness. When the time comes, you must help identify who the perpetrator is. Suddenly remembering something, she added, the only older man I've been in contact with lately is the professor. I never expected him to be such a hypocrite. I have his wife's number. I'm calling her right now. I pulled out my phone, pretending to make the call. She quickly stopped me in a panic. Lin Yenshu, are you crazy? I was just joking. Don't take it so seriously. Fine. I won't tease you anymore from now on. Okay. My teacher's wife is also the academic dean. All scholarships and financial aid go through her hands, and she's in charge of school discipline. What she hates most is people spreading rumors. Luo Shangshang's family is not well off, and she applied for financial aid, which hasn't been approved yet. If this matter gets reported, she won't have a chance at financial aid or scholarships for all 4 years of college. The roommate next to her also chimed in. Chang Chang usually speaks in a straightforward and joking manner, but she doesn't have any ill intentions. Lin Yenshu, you shouldn't take it to heart. Yeah, you've already hit her, so there's no need to make a big deal out of it. We're all girls. No need to be so petty. In her past life, they had also helped her quite a bit, always telling me not to take it personally with her, saying she's from the countryside and used to being rough. Then they'd talk about how pitiful her background was, making me feel sympathy and pity. Over time, I started to internalize it, and the increasingly harsh jokes led me to develop depression. They were accomplices, too, secretly joining her and laughing at me behind my back, still saying rich people are just being pretentious. Now, let's see if they're being pretentious or not. The corners of my mouth curved upward. Luo, Shang has been talking about both of you behind your backs, too, and it's even worse than what she said about me. Luo Xiao, you have a boyfriend you've been with for 3 years. Right. She said you've had 3 abortions for him and that you're involved with his friends, too. Xiao Yu. She said no matter how much you diet, you're still just a fat pig and that you're dishonest and like to steal things. Of course, she never said these things to me directly. I overheard them by accident. In my previous life, when Luo Shangshang was complaining to a high school classmate over the phone. But they really did say all these things to Luo Shangshang and only to her. Great. The peacemaker instantly became the main force. They immediately surrounded Luo Shangshang and started relentlessly attacking her. The insults were extremely harsh. Luo Shangshang, you shameless thing. Your boyfriend's friend did ask me out to watch a movie alone, but I refused. Okay, when have I ever stolen anything? It's your whole family that's dishonest. You're just A__, wearing tank tops and short skirts every day to seduce men. You're spreading rumors about Lin Yenshu out of jealousy because she's prettier than you. The guy you like is into her. The battle is going well. I curl my lips in satisfaction. Then, looking at the stunned junior beside me, I said that you've worked hard. Next time, I'll treat you to a drink. He nodded repeatedly, put down his things, and walked out, his eyes filled with excitement at hearing the gossip. Soon, Luo Shangshang's name would spread throughout the boys' dormitory and then the entire freshman class. But no one dares to spread rumors about me anymore. Standing firm and calling the police directly made those vile people back down. The conflict ended half an hour later. Luo Shangshang swore to heaven and earth, even saying that if she had truly said such things, she would be hit by a car and die. It's not that they believed her, but rather that they had no other choice. After all, they couldn't just slap her like I did. I have excellent grades, ranking in the top 3 in my major, and my family is well off, giving me plenty of confidence. When Luo Shangshang looked at me again, she was completely furious. Lin Yanshu, you need evidence for what you say. When did I ever say those things? This is slander. It's defamation. Do you believe I'll sue you? The corners of my mouth curved upward. I was just joking. Why are you taking it so seriously? Wait, did I actually hit the mark just now? Are you feeling guilty? Fight magic with magic. She was so angry she almost spat blood, pointing at my nose and saying, "Fine. Lin Yanshu, I'll remember you. This is definitely not over." I curled my lips into a cold smile. Are you really an adult? Is it even meaningful to threaten with such childish warnings? But no matter how she treats me in this lifetime, she won't have it easy. Luo Shangshang, with her quite well with her classmates, started complaining in front of them. Lin Yanshu is good at everything, but she's too vindictive, can't take a joke, and likes to twist the truth. Being beautiful is great. Everyone's values follow their looks. With just a few casual words, she managed to drive a wedge between me, Zhou Yu, and Xiao Xiao. Then she acts all innocent and pitiful, saying it was just a joke. I'm really going to die laughing at her shady moves. Then he pointed to the red and swollen slap mark on his face and said, she can joke around, but when I joke about her, I get slapped. Rich and powerful heiresses are just used to being arrogant and domineering. Someone like me deserves to be hit. Originally, everyone had a good impression of me. Hearing this, the way they looked at me became complicated. In my previous life, I endured this scene with the comfort of my roommate, having lived a second life. I can't bear even the slightest grievance. So I immediately stepped onto the podium and raised my voice to say, everyone, quiet. What Luo Shangshang just said isn't wrong at all. She just switched the order of events, creating a Rashomon effect. Now, everyone, listen to me explain the whole story. Luo Xiao and Zhou Qiao you were watching the entire time, and they can fill in any gaps if needed. The two of them were carrying the latest cakes and milk tea. They nodded in full cooperation. Everyone instantly quieted down. After all, who doesn't love hearing gossip? An hour ago, I came back from home with quite a lot of stuff, and a helpful junior offered to help carry it to my dorm. So, we registered with the dorm supervisor. After entering the dorm, Luo Shangshang said I had changed boyfriends and that this one was much better than the old man she saw at the hotel last night. Everyone here knows how much harm spreading such rumors can do to a girl. I was so angry and anxious that I slapped her. Is there a problem with that? Many students chimed in agreement that no problem. I should hit her. So, I continued with a smile. Then, she said my strong reaction was a sign of guilt. I gave her 2 more slaps, but after hitting her, I regretted it. I thought to myself, even though I slept in the dorm last night, there's no guarantee that someone couldn't have drugged me and secretly taken me out. And since the only older man I've been in contact with recently is the professor, it must have been him who drugged me. So, I immediately wanted to call the professor's wife and even report him to the police. It made perfect sense. Right. Everyone burst into laughter. That makes sense. It totally makes sense. No problem at all. Just then, the professor arrived for class. Hearing this, he immediately flew into a rage. Lin Yanshu, what on earth is going on? You'd better explain this clearly to me. I've lived a clean and honest life all these years, and I'm finally about to retire. Who is slandering and spreading rumors, trying to ruin my reputation? In an instant, Luo Shangshang's face turned deathly pale, hastily explaining, Professor, I was just joking. I didn't mean anything else. And the old man I mentioned wasn't you. The professor simply ignored her explanation. With a single phone call, he summoned both the dean and the head of the academic affairs office. Nowadays, what professors fear most is being involved in rumors with students, even as a joke. It's absolutely unacceptable. This class didn't even continue. All we heard was Luo Shangshang crying as she explained, apologized, and wrote a self-criticism. Forget about the financial aid. She was even publicly criticized as a warning to others. Of course, I was also scolded a bit, saying that hitting someone is wrong, and next time I encounter such a situation, I should directly contact the counselor. They will handle it. My apology was even more sincere than hers. If there's a next time, I'd still dare to do it. Luo Shangshang was very upset. She cried in the dorm for 3 whole days, and after her financial aid was gone, her parents scolded her over the phone for a long time. Originally, they wanted her to work part-time without giving her any money, but she cried and begged for so long that she finally got 500 yuan a month. Enough to survive, but not enough to live comfortably. She blamed all of this on me. The way she looked at me was as if I were her father's murderer, full of resentment and anger. After half a month of quiet, I accompanied my mom to finish a half marathon and used a massage gun to relax. Then, her mouth started chattering away again in the classroom with her classmates. Some people came back just before the dormitory closed yesterday, panting and out of breath. Who knows what they were doing? And they even brought a little toy. After the lights went out, it was still buzzing away. It kept me up all night. If you're lacking a man, just go find one. Why disturb our rest? Maybe I've gotten used to playing around before, and now I can't stand being without a man. This statement is quite ambiguous. It leaves everyone with wild imaginations. This time, they've learned their lesson and don't dare to spread rumors openly. I proudly took out the medal I earned after completing the half marathon and boasted, "Impressive." Right. Don't let my frail appearance fool you. I've been accompanying my mom to marathons since I was a child. I finished the 21.1 kilometers half marathon in just 1 hour and 30 minutes, which puts me among the top non-professional runners. It was absolutely exhausting. I barely made it back to the dormitory after rushing from the western suburbs. This new massage gun I bought really came in handy. After saying this, I looked at Luo Shangshang with a provocative and mocking gaze. I know your family is poor, and you've never seen a massage gun before, but at least have some common sense. If I hadn't happened to overhear what you said, would my reputation be tarnished with rumors again? Haven't you learned your lesson from last time? Do you need me to help you remember? Her face instantly flushed bright red, seething with anger that I didn't say anything, nor did I mention your name. Why are you so eager to jump in? Besides, I wasn't wrong. Some people have dirty minds and see everything as dirty. I gave her a thumbs up great. You've even learned some new words. The classroom instantly erupted in uproarious laughter, being wronged again and again, constantly picking on me. Everyone could see her little schemes. The looks directed at her were tinged with mockery and scorn. Luo Shangshang and I had completely torn off the mask of civility. Now, when she sees me, she either rolls her eyes or ignores me. In her previous life, she often ate with her 2 roommates, isolating me. Now, this scenario has turned on her. Being isolated, being excluded. She clearly couldn't bear it. So, she used her limited living expenses to treat them to milk tea and even took the initiative to help them with their cleaning duties. She quickly won them over, trying to isolate me, but they were all refined egoists. They took everything they could get, yet they never isolated me. Luo Shangshang was furious, but no matter how angry she was, it was useless. She couldn't force them at knife point. Moreover, her living expenses had run out, so she had no choice but to take on a part-time job handing out flyers. The already not fair skin was directly tanned, pitch black. I even deliberately provoked her by buying a lot of brightly colored clothes and wearing them in different styles every day. The roommates praised Yan Shu. This is the hottest dopamine dressing style right now. It looks so good. There are so many people on the confession wall asking for your contact info and clothing links. I said with a grin, not bad. These were all bought by my mom. If you like them, I'll give each of you a set in a few days. Xiao, your skin is fair, so you'll definitely look even better wearing it. Tie your hair up higher, and you'll look especially cool. Chaoyin, you're the cute type. Wear pink and do the most popular Pure Desire makeup right now. You'll charm everyone, men and women alike. Their eyes instantly lit up. They exclaimed excitedly, really, you're going to give us both clothes? I nodded with a smile. Yeah. Why would I lie to you? I'll pick the most suitable ones for you, and then the three of us can go shopping and take photos. Surely many people will ask to take photos with you. After saying this, she didn't forget to glance provocatively at Luo Shangshang. Your skin was already yellowish, and now it's even darker from the sun. Dopamine dressing doesn't suit you, or you'll end up looking like Judge Bao. Looks wise. Your cheekbones are too high. Your nose is too flat, and you don't suit a cute style, so I won't give it to you. These words, laced with personal attacks, instantly made Luo Shangshang's face flush bright red. At 18 or 19, one is most sensitive about their appearance, and since my looks are widely recognized as beautiful, these words naturally carried considerable authority. Who cares about your stuff? Having money doesn't make you special. Relying on your family doesn't count. The corners of my mouth curved upward. It's not relying on my family. It's relying on scholarships. 8.000 yuan. You know, I did really well on the last exam, taking first place in the grade. So, I said I'd buy them something when the money came in. After saying that, she turned to Luo Xiao and Zhou Xiaoyu. I'll give you the key points for this final exam. Maybe you can even get a scholarship. Instantly, their eyes lit up. They started flattering and currying favor with me. Of course, not forgetting to step on Luo Shangshan to please me. Luo Shangshan, who already hated me to the bone. Now the look in their eyes seems like they want to devour me alive. But what a waste, after waiting a week. I still haven't seen any rumors or revenge from her. Well, then, let me take the initiative to help her out. A wealthy friend of mine has just opened a new bar and needs some promotion. I reached out to her and offered to find a mascot to help hand out flyers, and she happily agreed. I added her on WeChat using a secondary account, offering 300 yuan for 5 hours to stand at a fixed spot dressed as a mascot and hand out flyers. She eagerly agreed, afraid the opportunity would be snatched away the next second. The bar had just opened, and a group of friends from the circle all showed up in luxury cars to support it. I gave Luo Xiao a set of clothes similar to my dopamine-inspired outfit and styled her hair into my usual messy bun. Her body shape was very similar to mine, from any angle other than head-on. It was hard to tell us apart. I even told her to take her boyfriend out and mention my name when paying the bill to get a 30% discount. Such a good deal was naturally something she eagerly agreed to. As for Zhou Xiaoyu, she stayed with me in the student council, working on spreadsheets, all dressed up in hopes of a romantic encounter. Everything is ready. All we need now is the right opportunity. Luo Shangshan did not disappoint me. I woke up to find myself famous on the school forum. Department beauty meets boyfriend at night. Sparks fly, always pretending to be a chaste and virtuous woman, accusing others of spreading rumors. But this time it's confirmed. Right, at least she's a college student. But people who don't know might think she's a prostitute. So desperate. They say rich people play wild behind the scenes. But with so many people around, she can't wait. She must be used to it, not even afraid of catching diseases. Who knows which honest man will end up with her in the future? TSK below were dozens of slightly blurry photos of her back. She was wearing the currently trending dopamine outfit with a bun hairstyle and a small Hermes bag. My entire outfit has been featured on the campus social media wall, and many people recognize me at a glance. The photos above are just a bit sexy and hot, but the ones below are truly shocking. In a private booth at a bar, a couple is making out with the guy's hand directly inside the girl's clothes, while she tightly wraps her arms around his neck. There's also a photo of them pinned against the wall near the restroom entrance, almost like they were about to put on a live show. Exciting, really too exciting. Overnight, the comments surged to 17.000 and are still climbing rapidly. At this moment, I gave her another push. under my real name, verified account. I commented that it wasn't me. Please don't stir up drama. I have never been to a bar. I've been busy with the student council all week. Moreover, your act of secretly filming and uploading it online is already illegal. Luo Shanshan didn't respond to me on the forum, but once she entered the classroom, she started gloating with great delight. Some people, who usually speak so righteously and proudly, never expected them to be like this in private. TSK, 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 Luo Shan and Zhao Xiao, you didn't know what had happened, but they had enjoyed quite a few benefits from me these past few days. So they all spoke up for me. Chong Chong, you've only been quiet for a few days, and now you want to argue with Yan Shu again. Why do you always have a problem with her? Her personal life is clean. She's at school every day, and her parents pick her up by car during holidays. Last time, the counselor warned you that if you cause trouble again, you'll get a disciplinary record. Luo Shangshang sneered and deliberately raised her voice to shout loudly. Cut the act. The photos have already been leaked. I'm kindly reminding you. 2. It's best to stay away from her, or else your reputations will be ruined by her. Being so desperate in a bar, almost hooking up right there with all that money. Couldn't you just go to a hotel? Had to do it in the bar restroom. How filthy. I frowned, pretending to look at her with a stern warning. That post on the school forum was posted by you. Right, with this click-through rate and number of comments. It's enough to sue you for spreading rumors. And I said, that person isn't me. But regardless of who it is, what you're doing is illegal. If you don't delete it immediately, I'll sue you. She spread her hands and grinned mischievously. Don't you dare blame me. I didn't post that thread. Go ahead and sue me. You dare to do it, but not own up to it. And now you're threatening me. Oh, I'm so scared. The photos are already out there. When it comes to being a person, you shouldn't act too pure and innocent. The classroom instantly erupted with hushed discussions. The looks directed at me also became quite complicated. Luo Shangshang's smile grew even brighter, thoroughly enjoying my misfortune, and she was just about to open her mouth to taunt me a few more times. But then, Luo Xiao, who was sitting nearby, glanced at the school forum and let out an angry scream. Luo Shangshang, you, __. How dare you take secret photos of me? What's wrong with me going on a normal date with my boyfriend? You're the __. Your whole family are __. I've only had one boyfriend, and I'm clean. Much better than someone like you who sends nude photos and flirts with people online. Serves you right for being raped when you were a child. Before the words were even finished, a slap was thrown. She grew up in the countryside, too, so she's strong and hits really hard. Luo Shangshan was completely stunned by the blow. Just as she was about to question her, she was provoked by her words. She fought back, too, grabbing her hair and even pulling at her underwear. Many male classmates quickly turned their heads away, but quite a few stared wide-eyed and even took out their phones to take pictures. 5 minutes later, the dean of students arrived at the scene. Only then did the farce come to an end. Luo Shangshan was the first to speak. Dean, this time I really was innocent. I was inexplicably attacked by her, and I was just acting in self-defense. If you don't believe me, you can ask the other students to testify. I was just speaking normally, and she went crazy and started hitting me. If I hadn't fought back, I would have been beaten to death. Luo Xiao, on the other hand, explained while crying, Principal, she secretly took photos of me and posted them on the school forum. She even called me a prostitute. Hitting her was the least I could do. If she doesn't delete and apologize immediately, I'll call the police and sue her. Luo Shangshan and the head teacher said in unison, Isn't the person in the photo Lin Yenshu? I immediately shook my head. It wasn't me. Yesterday, Xiao Yu and I spent the whole day in the student council handling documents. The students in the student council can vouch for me. That outfit was a gift from me, and the bag was borrowed from me. The lively classroom instantly fell silent, so quiet that a dropped pin could be heard. Luo Shangshan was completely dumbfounded. but like a dead duck with a stiff beak. She started to stubbornly insist I didn't post anything on the school forum. I have to go to school every day and work part-time handing out flyers. I'm so exhausted I fall asleep as soon as I hit the bed. How would I have the time for that? Don't you dare wrongfully accuse me. I curled my lips into a faint smile. I've already had someone investigate. The person who posted it was you, and the surveillance footage at the bar entrance also caught you secretly taking photos. If you still refuse to admit it, then we'll have no choice but to call the police. I'm willing to provide Luo Xiao with free legal assistance. In that case, you could face up to 3 years in prison. So, Luo Shangshang instantly backed down. I'm sorry. I was just bored and took a few photos. I thought it was fun, so I posted them on the forum. I'll delete the post right now, write a self-criticism, and promise never to do it again. In my past life, Luo Xiao was the one who kept telling me it's okay. It's okay. In this lifetime, I was almost driven mad with rage, and I slapped Luo Shangshang several more times, saying that if she couldn't erase the impact of this incident, I would let the whole world know about how she slept with an old man for $50 in the past. No need to wait until then. Now the entire class already knows. And Luo Shangshang has once again become a celebrity throughout the school. And this time, I spent a little money to push this matter beyond the school forum and into the top 10 trending searches. They want to settle this privately. Dream on. Luo Shangshang received a major demerit and will no longer be eligible for scholarships in the future. If she makes another mistake, she'll be expelled. Luo Zhao's reputation is completely ruined, and her boyfriend has also been implicated and exposed. His family, who are civil servants, have embezzled quite a bit, and they've all been placed under disciplinary investigation. Not only was she dumped, but her previous abortion was also spread throughout the village. Her parents came to the school to take her back and marry her off to an older man in exchange for a bride price to fund her brother's wedding. She refused to agree, crying in the dormitory. I blinked my eyes, feeling heartbroken. How could your parents treat you like this? They're actually willing to sell you off to an old man for just 300,000. You're only 19 now. Your life has just begun. It's all Luo Shangshang's fault. If it weren't for her, you'd still be with your boyfriend, and after graduating from university, you'd marry into an official's family. Forget 300,000. Even 800,000 or a million wouldn't be a problem. By then, you'd be suffering after marrying into that family, tormented every day, while she could marry into a good family and enjoy wealth and luxury. It's really unfair. She already hated Luo Shangshang, and with my provocation, she hated her even more. Yes, my boyfriend and I were already discussing marriage, and she ruined everything. Does she still think she can have a good life in the future? Dream on. That ugly, worthless woman should be grateful if any man wants her. I nodded in agreement, pretending to casually remark, if only your brother could find someone who doesn't demand a bride price, then you wouldn't have to suffer by marrying into that family. Her eyes immediately lit up. That's right. Then just find a wife for my brother. Luo Shangshang, that's secondhand goods, has been raped and other men don't want her either. She's just right for my brother. This is what she owes me, whether she agrees or not. She has to agree. After saying that, she hurried off to find Luo Shangshang, but even with just a toe's worth of thought, it was clear she would definitely refuse. However, since she had ruined Luo Xiao to this extent, if her parents really came looking for trouble, she wouldn't be able to avoid it. So, she would definitely sacrifice me and Zhao Xiaoyu, making her choose between the two of us, and she would help. Given my prominent family background, the risks of drugging and kidnapping were too great. So, Zhao Xiaoyu became the best choice. Indeed, that evening, Luo Xiao and Luo Shangshang invited Zhao Xiaoyu to have hot pot. Zhao Xiaoyu was quite surprised that weren't you two arguing. How did you suddenly make up? Luo Shangshang said hypocritically that you're so magnanimous. Xiao Xiao, not holding it against me. So, I'll treat you to dinner tonight to make amends. Luo Xiao also nodded in agreement. Yes, ifaguhe. With that new pink dress you bought. We'll help you take photos then. It'll look especially good in pictures. Zhao Chaoyu happily went to change her dress, not forgetting to urge me along the way. Yan Shu, why aren't you changing your clothes? Before I could speak, Lu Shirao took the lead and said this time, it's Luo Shangshang's treat. She's really afraid I'll go. True, she has seen my connections. Luo Shangshang's lips twitched a few times, wanting to speak, but after being glared at by her, she quieted down. That night, none of them came back. The next day, only Luo Shangshang and Lu Shirao returned, both with smiles on their lips. I pretended to be curious and asked, where's Chaoyu? Didn't she come back with you? Lu Shirao replied with a smile, not yet. She has some things to take care of and will be back a few days later. Right. Shuang Shuang. Luo Shuang Shuang naturally nodded in agreement. Yeah. She went on a trip and said she'd bring us back some local specialties. This back and forth. If I hadn't sent a driver to follow them yesterday and watched them put the drunk Xiao Chaoyu into Lu Shirao's brother's minivan, I would have believed it. Now, she's probably been taken to Lu Shirao's hometown, locked up to bear his children. They even threatened her with a video, saying if she dared to call the police or run away, they'd post it online. In my previous life, when I was slandered with a photoshopped image, she said to my face that if you stand straight, you need not fear a crooked shadow. The more you try to prove your innocence, the more people will doubt you. Yet behind my back, she told her classmates that I was just being provocative. Otherwise, why would someone Photoshop such an image of me? And since I didn't come forward to refute the rumors, it must be true. Now, karma has come full circle, and it's her turn. 3 days later, Zhao Chaoyu was rescued by the police, already covered in wounds from the torment. Lu Shirao's brother liked to hit people when he was drunk. Originally slightly plump, she had now lost a significant amount of weight, and her spirit was on the verge of collapse. Her parents held her and wept bitterly. Those damned beasts. Are they even human? Police, you must not let them get away, especially those named Lu Xiao and Luo Shangshang. They were all accomplices. If it weren't for your roommate Lin Yanshu, who couldn't get in touch with you and called us, and we realized something was wrong and quickly reported it to the police, we wouldn't have known when we would have found out. You really need to thank her properly. Zhou Xiaoyu finally noticed me standing nearby. Her face was filled with relief after surviving the ordeal, and her voice trembled as she spoke Yanshu. Thank you. Really, thank you. I considered Lu Xiao my best friend, but I never imagined she would get me drunk so her brother could rape me, and even film a video to threaten me. Luo Shangshang was also an accomplice. Can you help me find a good lawyer? I want them to pay compensation and go to jail. I nodded. All right. I'll go back right away and arrange for a lawyer. It's all my fault. If only I had realized it sooner. They said you went on a trip and even helped you ask for leave from the teacher, so I thought it was true. She said through gritted teeth, those two scumbags. I will definitely make them die. With both witnesses and evidence present, the police acted quickly. 2 hours later, they drove straight into the campus and arrested Luo Shangshang and Lu Xiao, who were in the middle of class. They had just been happily discussing what to have for lunch. The latest rose gold bracelet of the year arrived. They shouted in shock and disbelief, "What are you all doing? We haven't done anything. This is an illegal arrest. Let us go now, or we'll call the police." Zhou Xiaoyu, covered in injuries, stepped out from behind the police. You two beasts deserve to die a miserable death. Lu Xiao, I considered you my best friend, yet you got me drunk and handed me over to your brother. He imprisoned and raped me for 3 whole days, saying he wouldn't let me go until I got pregnant and gave birth. Are you even human? Luo Zhao's face instantly turned deathly pale. She had specifically told her parents to lock her in the cellar, not let anyone know, and since it was deep in the mountains, no one could possibly find her. Luo Changchang reacted extremely quickly, immediately shifting the blame. Xiao Yu. This was her idea, and she forced me into it. I only helped her because I had no other choice. Otherwise, she would make me marry her brother. If you want to blame someone, blame her and send her to jail. I'm innocent. Luo Xiao immediately retorted that you're innocent. This whole thing was instigated by you. You said she had a bad relationship with her parents and wouldn't be discovered even if she didn't contact them for a while. You also said she was timid and cared about her reputation. So, threatening her with a video would definitely make her obedient. Luo Shangchang cursed loudly that you're talking nonsense. Those words were all said by you. What I clearly said was to get Lin Yenshu drunk so she could marry your brother. You said her family was wealthy and influential, with too much background to offend, which is why we chose her. Luo Xiao also retorted without backing down, do you think I'm stupid? You're just jealous that Lin Yenshu repeatedly got slapped in the face by her. So, you want to get back at her. If you hadn't posted those photos online, my boyfriend wouldn't have dumped me, and my parents wouldn't have forced me to marry that old man. All of this is your fault. If you had just agreed to marry my brother, none of this would have happened. It's all because of you. Watching these two dogs bite each other is quite the entertaining spectacle. It's just a shame my hands are cuffed. Otherwise, they could be pulling each other's hair out again. The sound of the police siren faded away, and the school erupted into chaos. Such a sensational and malicious incident actually occurred at a prestigious 211 university. The school acted swiftly, posting the expulsion notice on the official website just half an hour later due to the severity of the misconduct. So the verdict came down quickly, and it was the maximum sentence. Lu Xiao's brother was sentenced to 10 years for unlawful detention and rape. Lu Xiao and Luo Shangshang, accomplices, were sentenced to 5 years. Zhao Xiaoyu applied for a leave of absence from school due to the overwhelming impact. The once lively dormitory instantly fell silent, looking at the 3 empty beds. A faint smile curved at the corners of my lips. Lu Xiao and Zhao Xiaoyu, all of this was their own doing, and the grudges from our past lives have finally been settled. But Luo Shangshang's revenge has only just begun. No sooner had she been sentenced to prison than I arranged for someone to take good care of her inside. Let her know what it means to live a life worse than death. And the release she was looking forward to was just a passage to another hell. Her parents, who favor sons over daughters, had already set their sights on a 50-something-year-old widower who had beaten 3 wives to death. A college student who has served time in prison is still worth 500,000, but I never expected that a year later, she would be hit on the head in prison and regain the memories of her past life. She even wrote to me, threateningly, you should have died long ago. When I get out, I'll help you along and set everything back on track. It seems she still has too much free time in there. I arranged for 3 more people to go in. On the day of the graduation ceremony, as an outstanding graduate, I spoke confidently on stage, and several Fortune 500 companies had already offered me positions. At the same time, news came that Luo Shangshang had successfully committed suicide with a toothbrush inside. He died in excruciating pain with a particularly gruesome expression. It is said that even in his final moments, he kept muttering my name, swearing that if given another chance, he would definitely kill me. Hilarious. If I could kill her once, I could kill her for all eternity. Her parents thought she was bad luck and didn't claim her ashes, so I went and took them. Then I poured them straight down the drain. May she never find peace for all eternity. And my brand new, bright life has only just begun.